SHOT Show 2019 at the Kershaw Zero Tolerance booth. And as you can see, a lot of patrons and, well, not patrons necessarily, but buyers and customers. We're going to be talking to Mr. Andrew Keel. Andrew,
hey,
how you doing, brother?
Good. What's up, Stuart? What's up, guys?
Yeah, this is very nice to meet you. We were introduced by Dominic, and he kind of set this up for us, and I appreciate that, getting all dialed in. Had a quick chat with Jim, who we normally talk to in the past, and of course there's a couple of the lovely ladies that we've talked to in the past about the designs. But just a quick snapshot, how long have you been with Kershaw Zero Tolerance?
I've been there for about 1.5 years.
Okay, very
It's been awesome.
Okay, yeah, well, I keep planning to make a visit to the factory, but it just hasn't yet happened, so maybe we'll see each other sometime in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
You are also one of the designers. You do some of the designing at Kershaw and Zero Tolerance, is that correct, or strictly Kershaw
I
for you?
have yet to work on, hopefully, someday soon is Zero Tolerance. So far, it's just been Kershaw. So.
Okay, very good. Well, it's a great start. You know.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm so grateful to be here. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. We have some new designs.
We do.
Is this going to be for late 2018 and 19, or is this strictly new designs for 2019?
For Kershaw, it's just 2019.
Okay.
For the ZT, we've showed some stuff that we released at Blade Show in mid-year as well.
Right, right. So. Okay, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just let you take it from there. Just if you would just give me what the model name is, if it's available, and what MSRP might be, if you know.
Yeah, do you want any like stories of the knives, or do you want to delve into that a little bit later?
If you would like to go into that, I don't want to get into too much proprietary information,
no,
but
it's not.
yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, please tell me any backstory you feel comfortable with.
Okay, oh yeah, you're totally good. All right, what's up guys? Up first, we have the Kershaw Reverb XL. So a couple of years ago, we released the Kershaw Reverb. It was a really great, lightweight, minimal outdoor knife. This is the big brother to that knife. The nice thing though about this is that several features in the design make it distinctive and help it stand on its own. So let's take a look at the blade. Up first, you've got a 3-inch blade with an upswept kind of Persian blade style, which definitely differentiates it from the original Reverb. You can see we've got these awesome machine slots, these pockets right there on the front, as well as on the back of the handle scale.
Now, just a quick jump in.
Yeah, jump in.
I like the machine part, and that it actually opens up here at the spine of the blade. Is there a reason for that? Or just the design, just the ergonomics?
It gives, I would say, it gives it a visual dynamicism, or adds to the visual movement of the
whole sweeping type movement.
Yes, exactly. Which this whole knife, you can see that movement carries really well through the knife. It does serve a functional purpose though. So that way, instead of having a thumb stud on there, you can still open this knife with one hand really easily with that groove right there, but it still keeps it minimal and lightweight. It only weighs 2.3 ounces, and a big reason for that is because we've used this hybrid carbon fiber G10 handle scale on the front. You can see we've got that G10, blue gray G10 handle scale with that layer of real carbon fiber on the top. Really, really nice. And it keeps the knife really lightweight. If you look across the top, we've kept it really open with just tube spacers in there, keeping it really simple. Take a look at the back. You can see, just like the blade, we've got a gray PVD finish on that steel handle scale, as well as on the deep carry pocket clip. This also has an offset frame lock to give you a secure lockup and a carabiner gate, just like the original Reverb. That's the Reverb XL, and that comes in at $44.99.
Very good.
Yeah. Up next, we have the Kershaw Misdirect. This is a speed safe knife. It's a great everyday carry knife, and it comes in at a wonderful budget price point. So it's really good for everyday carry for a couple of reasons. First up, we got a reverse Tonto blade shape here, which is really good for everyday tasks like opening boxes, cutting zip ties, that sort of thing. We've got steel handle scales on the front as well as on the back.
Steel, not aluminum.
That's right. Okay. Steel, so you get a really secure lock up there. It is a frame lock knife. We also have a steel pocket clip that works in not one, but actually 3 positions on the knife. It works on the front and the back, so it's a very versatile knife in how you can carry it. Opens with speed safe and a flipper. It comes in at $34.99, so a really, really affordable knife, but still a really great everyday carry option. That's the Kershaw Misdirect. Up next, we have the Kershaw Decibel. All right, check this out. This is a slim and futuristic knife, but it's still designed to be very, very practical and very usable. You can see that once again we have that reverse Tonto blade shape, but it is a little bit more elongated on this knife. You got a 3-inch blade there, gray PVD finish on the blade, as well as on the handle scales. These are steel handle scales. It is a steel frame lock knife. We've even cut this little cutout window in the front handle scale so that you can see the Kershaw logo lasered on the inside of the back handle scale. It's a little bit of nice hidden detail there. Speaking of details, my favorite on this knife has got to be the pivot. We've got a custom pivot with some futuristic machining in there, but you can also see that we've got a beautiful aluminum trim ring around there with a blue anodized finish.
It's going to match up the whole Kershaw zero tolerance. Well, even though this isn't a zero tolerance, it still matches up with the company colors.
Yeah, and it gives it a really futuristic look. This knife was inspired by sci-fi movies like Star Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy, Blade Runner, that sort of thing. So yeah, you can see frame lock knife, lots of great angles on here. It's a really slim knife, so really good everyday carry. You can see the backspacer is also aluminum with that blue anodized finish to match what's going on in the pivots. And then finally, we've got a reversible pocket clip that also looks pretty sci-fi. So that's the Kershaw Decibel, and that comes in at $59.99.
Still very budget oriented for the tool that you're acquiring.
Absolutely. This is the Kershaw Mixtape. This actually comes in at $39.99, so definitely another good budget price point knife. We've got a reverse Tanto blade shape there. It opens manually with a thumb disc, really nice and smooth. This knife is meant to be lightweight, rugged, simple, really good everyday carry knife. It was actually inspired by old cassette tapes. So you can see we've got this window shape right there.
Yeah.
So it serves a purpose of relieving weight, but it also kind of gives the knife a neat look. You can see when the knife is closed, it has a really nice compact rectilinear profile. And we even use that cassette tape window cutout in the back for the pocket clip, so that the pocket clip kind of rises up out of the back of the handle scale, which means that you get a beautiful unbroken profile, which helps keep it compact and comfortable. Speaking of comfort, we've got glass-filled nylon handle scales on the front and the back. It has an excellent texture on there. And you can see as well, there's some stripes that run along the handle and the custom pivot. And that's also inspired by the graphics that were used on cassette tapes back in the day.
For those of us who might remember cassette tapes.
Yes, yes. The nice thing about this too is that it's called the Mixtape. So it's the name definitely fits the...
Oh, it's called the Mixtape.
Yeah, this is the Kershaw Mixtape. It was inspired by old cassette tapes. So I'm very excited that we were able to get that name. Really good, simple, everyday carry knife, manual opener with a reverse Tanto blade shape. That is the Kershaw Mixtape. It comes in at $39.99.
Very good.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, it has a steel liner. So underneath those plastic handle scales, it's very important. You have a steel liner under the front and the back handle scale. Yeah, please. It's a steel liner lock. So that way you get the structural integrity that you need, but you get the lightweight and the comfort of having those glass-filled nylon handle scales.
You've got that support,
exactly.
Engineering support of the steel.
Which is crucial,
Very good.
All right. Let's take a look at what's next. So this is another steel liner lock. This is from Kershaw and Les George. This knife was inspired by the M3 knives that were used. It's a fixed blade knife, standard issue in World War II, used by the US military. So the nice thing about this knife is that it gives you the look and the feel of a very tactical fixed blade knife, and it brings it to you in a very compact, easy to carry everyday package. It's the Kershaw XCOM, inspired by the M3 knife. It's a manual opener knife with that thumb disc right there. You can see we've got the dagger style blade with a black oxide finish. The whole knife's all blacked out. We've got black glass-filled nylon handle scales, keeping it lightweight and also really ergonomic. This knife is definitely designed with ergonomics in mind. It has a really good grip. You can see we have a reversible pocket clip on the back that is deep carry. We've even brought some of the steel liner through the top of the handle and had some jimping there, so even that adds to the grip a little bit and to the overall feel of the knife. So yeah, it is a inset steel liner lock so that you get the structural integrity that you need in this knife. Great everyday carry option, has that tactical feel. That's the Kershaw XCOM from Kershaw and Les George, and that comes in at $44.99.
MSRP.
Yes, exactly. Alright, up next we have the Kershaw Epistle. This knife is all about simple elegance. As you can see, we've kept to really simple classic forms and refined finishes to give it a sophisticated look. This is definitely a knife that I would recommend for carrying with a suit or a pair of slacks if you have to go to a nicer function. It's definitely something that will complement your wardrobe. And it's also really lightweight. Because of these aluminum handle scales we have on here, it only weighs 2.1 ounces. So it's definitely a knife that is pretty lightweight and is not going to cause too much wear and tear to a suit or a pair of slacks. So we have aluminum handle scales with an inset steel liner. So you have that liner lock to give you that structural integrity that you need in there. We've got a drop point style blade. It opens manually, nice and smooth, with these thumb studs to give it that the gentleman carry feel.
Right.
can see we've got a pivot nut here with some texture on it, and that gives kind of a visual focal point, but also a tactile focal point to the knife. And you can see lastly, we've got a great pocket clip on the back, and there's a cutout in there that you can actually see the Kershaw logo lasered on that aluminum handle scale.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's the Kershaw Epistle, and that comes in at $44.99.
And you mentioned as a gentleman's carry or a suit carry.
Yes.
This is, you mentioned the weight, but just manually holding this, it's definitely would not be sagging your suit pants. Would not, well, wear and tear is a whole different thing. Anytime you have metal on material, you're going to have wear and tear.
For sure.
But the reality is, this is not going to be sagging your pocket and giving a telltale, a telltale tail, which would be a tell, meaning.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're getting tongue-tied there, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So speaking of kind of slim and simple knives, we've got the Kershaw Innuendo. We've got a great everyday carry blade shape here, kind of a hybrid spear point, drop point blade style there. It opens manually with a thumb disc right there. We've got a gray PVD finish on the blade. Really, really nice. I love the custom pivots on this. They're radially symmetrical. And one of the nice things about this knife is that what you see on the front is also mirrored on the back, so it's a really cohesive, seamless design in that regard. The handles have been really well contoured. They're already pretty slim, but even though this is it's a good sized knife with a 3.3-inch blade, but it makes it a really good everyday carry because of how slim the handles are. You can see as well, it is a steel frame lock knife, so you have a really sturdy lockup there. And it's got that great pivot right there, thumb disc, even some jimping on the spine for some added detail.
And it's a bit enjoyable too to be able to see inside the mechanics of the pivot.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not mechanics, but the work of the interior of the pivot.
The cutouts here are really nice, and it kind of, one of the design ideas behind this was setting the pivot kind of like you would have a tension set diamond. So it gives the illusion, because of the cutouts we have here, that this pivot is just resting in between these two bars of steel right there, which really add a nice center point to the knife. And
it does have a diamond-like look, so for the guy getting engaged, this might be the way to go.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Kershaw Innuendo. Also got a great deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, works on the front as well as the back. So this is just a really good, slim and sturdy everyday carry knife. That comes in at $44.99.
Still
MSRP.
Great price point. Yeah.
Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, this is also a Les George design knife. So if you're into the maker stuff, this is definitely a good option for you. All right, we have yet another Les George knife. We're actually releasing 4 knives with him at SHOT Show this year, and we're really excited and happy to be able to do that. This is the Kershaw Boilermaker. As you probably noticed, this has an excellent brown PVD coating that we've then stonewashed to give it a real industrial, heavy-duty, kind of post-apocalyptic look to the knife, which is really nice. As you probably noticed, it opens up with speed safe, which makes it a really great, classic Kershaw option there. Opens nice and easy with that flipper. It is a steel-handled frame lock knife. As you can see, we've got frame lock on the back, that brown PVD coating with the stonewash finish over all of that. We've got a really slim, deep carry pocket clip here. You were talking about keeping a low profile with pocket clips earlier. This is definitely something that will do that as well. Really slim and minimal. You barely notice it when you're carrying it. The knife is definitely supposed to have a heavy-duty look, so we've got this beautiful screw collar around the pivot there to add to that, the industrial look, and we have some structural latticing there, which allows us to relieve some weight and add some visual interest to the knife. The backspacer as well carries through with that triangular, structural, kind of architectural aesthetic. So yeah, that's the Kershaw Boilermaker. That's a speed safe knife, great option from Kershaw and Les George. That comes in at $59.99. All right, up next we have the 4th and final Les George design for this year from Kershaw and Les George. This is the Kershaw Cygwin. This was actually named after Juan Cygwin, who's a Texas military hero who fought in the 1830s in Texas's War of Independence. So Les wanted us to name the knife after him, and we wanted to honor that. As you can see, got a 3.1-inch blade here, gray PVD finish. The nice thing about this knife is that it's a very, very characteristic Les George knife. So if you follow his designs, this is definitely one that carries that feel through the knife. A really good, cohesively designed knife. As you probably noticed, we have this radial texturing along the chamfers there, and that's been carried through in the glass-filled nylon backspacer as well. And that just gives a great texture and feel to the knife. One of my favorite things about the knife, though, is the blade shape and where it's placed. So the flipper is placed very intentionally right near the front edge of this handle, so that you barely have to pull back on it and it flies right open. Gives you really good leverage right there. We also have an elevated thumb rip, which, aside from being a very characteristic Les George design element, does give you a really good functional grip on this knife. You can see gray PVD on the blade as well as on this custom pivot right there. This is a knife that looks really good, but also feels excellent in the hand. You can see we have steel handles on the front and the back, and a frame lock construction. Once again, we have that very minimal deep carry single position pocket clip in the back to help you keep a low profile when you're carrying this knife. That's the Kershaw Cygwin from Kershaw and Les George, and that comes in at $59.99. All right, this is the Kershaw Oblivion. Check this out. This brings a fresh, futuristic look with a heavy-duty feel to the Kershaw line. It opens with speed safe, has a 3.5-inch blade, so it's a pretty good-sized knife. In that regard, it's got a really nice stonewash finish on there, and you can probably see some really nice fine detail jimping along the spine of the blade there as well. It is a steel frame lock knife with a stonewash finish on those steel handle scales. You can see as well we've got screw collars once again, not just on the pivot here, but on the handle screws as well, to give it that heavy-duty look and feel to the knife. As I mentioned, steel frame lock. We've even put an over-travel stop right around that pivot to give you a little additional security for that lock bar.
What is the material of the over-travel stop?
A glass-filled nylon. Thanks for asking.
No worries.
We have a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, as well as lanyard holes. So the clip works on the front and the back, and if you want to throw a lanyard on it, it'll work well for that. The last thing I wanted to mention about this knife is that we have this great handle element right here. The glass-filled nylon right here gives a beautiful material break to the knife, adding to that futuristic aesthetic. But it also is really different in how it's constructed. So we've done inlays before and we've done overlays before. But with an inlay, usually it's in the center of the knife, it doesn't run out to the edges, and it's usually glued in. This is constructed, held together with the screws that are already holding the rest of the knife together, which is a really nice feature. And an overlay is nice, but often adds thickness to the handle overall. Whereas you can see with this material break, the plastic runs, the glass-filled nylon runs flush with the handle scale. So you're not sacrificing any of that overall handle thickness. So that's the Kershaw Oblivion, great speed safe option, 3.5-inch blade. That comes in at $59.99 MSRP. All right, up next, we have the Kershaw Antic. This is a really fun little knife. It's in addition to the Shuffle family. So if you like the Kershaw Shuffles, this is a great option for you. One of my favorite things about this knife is that bringing something new to the Shuffle line, the Antic has steel handle scales and a steel frame lock construction with a beautiful navy PVD finish on those handle scales, which is really, adds a lot to the knife and adds a really substantial feel to this knife as well. As you can see, it also has this great oversized key ring in the back. It's kind of a karambit style ring, which is nice. You know, it's a small, approachable knife, but it still has some of that karambit flair, and you can still, do all the karambit tricks with it as well. This is a steel backspacer that also has that ring. Obviously, the ring works really great. It is a key ring as well. There's a bunch of features packed into this. It tapers down, as you can probably see, into something that works well as a pry bar, and also has a flathead screwdriver on it, which is really nice. But that's not all. There's actually one more feature. If you see this little tab on the back, this actually functions in tandem with the ring as a bottle opener, and it works really well. So that's a really nice thing about this knife. It looks really fun, it's small, it's a sturdy knife, and it has a lot of features packed into it. You can see single position pocket clip there, manual opener with thumb studs, great option from Kershaw, comes in at $29.99. Great addition to the Shuffle family. That's the Antic.
What is the material on the handle? If you may have already mentioned it.
It's steel. Yeah, steel handles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only okay.
Nope, steel handles.
I would say, normally when you see anodized material, you think automatically
sure.
of aluminum, or at least I do.
This is a different finish. It's not an anodized. It's a PVD finish.
So blue PVD.
So it's a different finish, but it works really well. Looks great, and is very sturdy.
Very good.
Yep. Up next, we have the Kershaw Copper Cinder. So we released the Cinder a few years ago in collaboration with Rick Hinder. It's a Hinder design. This is a great little knife. It's compact, small. You can carry it on your with your keys, no problem. But we're bringing it to you with copper handle scales this year. We're really excited to get to use copper on this. So that way, over time, it will develop a patina that is unique to you.
And it's not copper finish, it's solid
No,
copper.
it is solid copper
Beautiful.
handle scales. It still has that inset steel liner, so you get the structural lockup that you need. All the same great features as the original Cinder, but in this new version you get that copper as well, which is just really hard to beat. And it comes in at $29.99, which is a great, for something with solid copper handle scales, is a really great price point.
Now I'm going to round it up, $30
Yeah.
for a solid copper handled knife. Granted, it's a small knife, but still, it's copper.
It is.
So a lot of the guys enjoy their alternate materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Definitely. One of the other nice things about this knife, it opens manually. The inset liner is really solid. Even under the front copper handle scale, we have a steel liner, so you're not sacrificing anything on the lockup. It's got a great steel backspacer, which functions as a bottle opener, as well as having that great keyring or lanyard hole right there. One of my favorite things about the knife, actually, is that it was designed to have a 3-finger grip. A lot of times with small knives, it's really hard to get that, to accomplish that, but this works really well. So, excellent box cutter, keeps a low profile, sits on your keys, and with this version, we'll patina over time to develop a look that's unique to you. So, yeah, $29.99. That is the Kershaw Copper Cinder from Kershaw and Rick Kindred. All right, so we've got something else that is completely new. Kershaw's never done anything like this before. This actually is, it's not a knife. It is a skateboard tool. So we collaborate with a skateboarder, a professional skateboarder named Chris Cole, and a little while back he came to us and asked us to make a skateboard tool. And so we did. He wanted something specifically that would be, you know, low profile, lightweight, simple, small, something that's really portable, easy to carry and take with you on the go, but also something that kids could take with them to school. So there's no blade on this, so you won't get in trouble for carrying a blade at school. It works, it has 2 pieces. There's the wrench and then the driver bit set. So you have wrenches that are specific for the nuts and bolts on the trucks of your board. Sometimes you gotta, you know, swap out the bearings or, you know, fine tune the trucks when you're at the park. This will work great for that. And then for working with your deck screws, we've got a Phillips head and a hex head or Allen wrench driver bit on there. So yeah, it works really well. Specifically designed for skateboards and skateboarders. Is really portable. These actually nest into each other, and as you can see, we've got magnets on there as well.
I was going to ask how they nest.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
So
magnetically nest. It's not a pressure application.
No, it's not. With something like steel, it's definitely a better option to go with something. And magnets are fun anyway, so it's a really, you know, it's a really great, fun tool. That's the Kershaw Kickflip, and that comes in at $19.99 MSRP.
Man?
Yeah, please.
Been quite some time since I've been on a skateboard, but yeah, this would be a great tool. And you know what? In a pinch, could be used as a Kubotan. And I'm just going to check this.
Sure.
Okay. I really had to snap that to get that to dislodge. So if it's in your pocket, if it's in your bag, definitely not, it's not going to come loose. Tapping it on this soft covered table, it's moving a little bit, but it's not coming out. And I was able to get it to dislodge with, I mean, you have to really give it a snap to get it to dislodge. So, outstanding. Very good.
Thanks. All right, lastly from Kershaw 2019, we've got 3, let me flip these around, 3 automatic knives for you. We have the Launch 8, the Launch 9, and the Launch 10. So we're super excited to bring these to you. USA made knives. This is the Launch 8. This is a matte diskin design. It's a modern take on the classic Italian stiletto. You know, we've had the Launch series out for a little while now, and I'm really glad that we made this knife for a couple of reasons. For one, it's a really slim knife, which is a really good addition to the Launch series. Secondly, the Italian stiletto is kind of the archetypal icon for automatic knives.
A classic.
It is, and I think this is a really appropriate addition. You got a CPM 154 blade steel. It's a 3.5-inch blade, so it's a pretty good sized knife, even though it's so slim. Really lightweight because we have those gray anodized aluminum handle scales on the front and the back. It is a push-button automatic knife and has this beautiful carbon fiber inlay that we've put in there, which is something I believe is new for the Launch series and adds just a level of sophistication to the knife. That's really fitting for a stiletto. You can see as well, USA made. We've got a pocket clip that is reversible. You can see the integrated backspacer on the back. It's really simple, clean, works really well with the knife. Definitely a knife that feels good in the hand. Yeah, that's the Kershaw Launch 8 from Kershaw and matte diskin. And this comes in at $159.99 MSRP.
For an automatic, very reasonable.
Yeah, and a USA made automatic. All right, up next, we have the Launch 9. So a couple years ago, we released the Launch 4, and it's been since then our best-selling automatic knife. It's done really well for us. It comes in that California legal size, under 2-inch blade, and so because of that, we wanted to bring you guys some more that are in that size to give you some variety for your collection. So you can see, once again, we have CPM 154 blade steel on the blade. It's a 1.8-inch blade, so it is legal to carry in California. Drop point blade style.
Stone washed as well.
Actually, this is a working finish.
Oh, it
so
is?
it's a heavier stone wash.
Ah, okay,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, it's stone wash. But it adds a little bit of variety there.
Is it possible to get it in a polished finish?
Inline, not yet. This is the standard inline version.
Okay, so it's basically, that is the standard line we're on.
That is the standard. There may be, sometimes we'll do exclusives with different companies. I can't guarantee, what will come out of that. But that does, there might be some variety in the future there. We have, once again, aluminum handle scales, keeping it really lightweight with a black anodized finish on there. Push button automatic, some really beautiful machine work on the handles there. You see there's the back. Deep carry pocket clip. It works on the front as well as the back, and integrated lanyard hole in the back. So it's a really great compact knife, great automatic option with the drop point blade, really practical and usable. That's the Launch 8. Comes in at $139.99.
And made in the United States.
That's right. Up next, we have the Launch 10. So check this out. This knife is crazy and very aggressive in its design. But my favorite thing about this knife, Stuart, is that even though it looks really aggressive and really insane, every element of the design has been done really intentionally, and it's actually a really ergonomic knife. So once again, it's a 1.9-inch blade, so it's still California legal. CPM 154 blade steel. But as you see, these cuts that we've made on the top of the blade actually give you really good places for your fingers. So if you're opening cardboard boxes or cutting, whatever you're using it for, you get a really good control of that blade. It is a hawkbill blade shape, which again is really great for everyday carry. And the handle as well, you can see these cuts along the bottom here, very intentionally done to give you a really good 3-finger grip. You can get 3 fingers under there pretty easily. And so this is definitely a knife that promises a good grip. Beautiful chamfers on that aluminum. It shows really well. Really beautiful knife. You can see the integrated backspacer has those teardrop shapes machined into it as well. Push button automatic, gray anodized aluminum handle scales. We have incorporated that integrated lanyard hole as well as a reversible deep carry pocket clip. Really, really beautiful knife. Really aggressive and cool knife. That's the Kershaw Launch 10. Comes in at $149.99 MSRP.
So these 3 new automatics are all well within that 150 MSRP range.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, did Jim have anything to do with these designs at all, or did he participate with that?
That'd be a question for him.
Okay,
yeah, but
cool.
Usually as the designers, we definitely have a hand in some degree in making these designs.
Very good. Outstanding. All of these knives are available now, correct?
So our goal with these is first or second quarter. We're trying to, the reason that we have kind of a smaller lineup for the Kershaw this year is that we're definitely trying to show you guys knives a lot closer in proximity to when they're actually available. We don't want you waiting around, 6 months to a year for a knife to come out.
And Kershaw has really addressed that in the past. There have been complaints and rumblings about availability of a prototype that's been mentioned at SHOT Show or what have you. And Kershaw is really making some great efforts, objectively, making some great efforts and strides to improve that customer service aspect and delivery time.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, we definitely we want to listen to the customers and we want to hear what you guys have to say. And that's been something that we've been trying to, really improve on. So all that to say, we're hoping to get most of these out first, second quarter.
So we're looking at the latest probably, and again, there's a huge probably, because there's always the possibility, and as Jim knows, I like to be really just very frank and candid,
Sure.
And you folks always have been with me. The simple reality is we're looking at probably summertime, early summer, midsummer, and even the possibility of fall or autumn, depending upon how things work out.
Yeah.
So no promises being made, for those that can't hear very well.
Yeah.
And
but that is the goal, though. We want to get them out a lot closer to the SHOT Show release.
That's outstanding. Now the offshore knives, are they all made in one offshore company, or is that mixed around a bit? Taiwan, China, etc.
As far as countries, import knives usually made in China. But beyond that, I can't really,
Sure. Yeah. Well, and obviously some of them are clearly marked, but some folks are curious about it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and we're very clear, highlighting the knives that are USA made, which are made at our factory in Tualatin, Oregon.
Yeah.
So
great part of the world, brother.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is, man.
Okay, so now,
Let's talk.
you like cigars?
You know,
Or pipes?
So I've never smoked a cigar. I've smoked a pipe once with some pretty legit tobacco, and it was actually, you know, I didn't hate it. I wasn't sure going into it what I would think, but I think it's definitely something that I'll, you know, not all the time. It's something that I'll do off and on. Never tried a cigar. You know, definitely not into cigarettes, but. I love chocolate cigars though. Those are great.
Cigars, yeah, those are always good.
Yeah.
The alternative when somebody has a baby. Oh yeah, well they've got that or the regular.
So,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I might smoke a cigar at some point. I don't think I'd go through a whole one. That's a lot of,
an occasional use only is really the best.
For sure.
Decompression time.
Yeah, totally.
So what about adult beverages? Do you like beers? Do you like whiskeys? Do you like cocktails? I mean,
yeah, well, sorry to disappoint you, Stuart. You know, when I turned 21, since then, I have tried many different kinds of drinks, and I have yet to find one that is really my, you know, one
that you enjoy. That you truly enjoy.
Yeah, you know, I think I had maybe like some kind of craft beer from like Western Oregon or somewhere. I don't know, in the past like year that I didn't hate. You know, it was more palatable. I think it was like maybe like a Sauvignon. I don't know anything about
No,
drinks,
that's good. Yeah, and you know, you mentioned sorry to disappoint. No, you never do disappoint, brother. As long as you're candid and honest, that's all that matters. We got a lot of the guys that don't you know, enjoy any type of an alcoholic beverage. You got some guys that enjoy coffees. I mean, are you a coffee guy? Or are you?
It's funny you asked that. You know, I live in Portland, Oregon, which is famous for its beer and its coffee. I don't drink coffee, and I really don't like beer. So.
You know what? Portland just may eject you.
Well, they haven't yet, so hopefully if they see this video, they will still keep me.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
But I will say, I do love a good virgin screwdriver on the rocks. That's that's always good.
Good deal.
Nah, man, but Portland, the food scene, though, is great. So if you guys watching this, you should come check out Portland's food scene.
Any particular, are you a foodie guy? Is there a particular passion or experience that you really enjoy that's non-knife?
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be perfectly frank with you, if we're all about that, my biggest passion is my faith. So I love Jesus, and my church has been, especially, I'm from North Carolina originally, so moving, you know, across the country, coming to a new city to take the job with Kershaw, it was a huge blessing to have like that community, and yeah, I'm super grateful to the Lord for being here.
So you were able to find a church to move in with, so to speak, you know, to become accustomed to and to share your faith.
Yeah,
that's outstanding.
Dude, that's my jam. So
good deal, brother.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's outstanding. Listen, you have a very safe trip home.
All right, cool.
It was an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thanks,
you did an outstanding job on this. I know, obviously, you were a little rehearsed, and I do have a tendency to toss in a couple of questions, just odd duck stuff that hits me, but you know, that's just the way it is.
Dude,
so take good care, man.
Awesome. Peace. See you guys.